You hear about AI everywhere, right? But what if I told you we're on the brink of creating something completely different? I'm not talking about a slightly better chatbot. I'm talking about an intelligence that could fundamentally rewrite the entire human story. That's the promise and, yeah, the peril of something called artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
Just think for a second about the AI you use every day. Your smart speaker, your phone assistant, they're amazing specialists, right? They can find a song in a split second or summarize a long article, but ask it to, invent a new recipe from whatever's left in your fridge, or figure out what that weird rattling noise your car is making is, it's totally lost. It kind of makes you wonder, is that really what we mean by intelligence? And right there, that's the huge difference. On one side, you've got the AI we have today. We call it artificial narrow intelligence. It's like a chess grandmaster who's an absolute genius on the board, but can't even play checkers. On the other side is the dream, or the goal, really, artificial general intelligence. An AGI isn't just an AI that masters one game. It's an AI that can learn the rules to any game, and maybe even invent its own.
Okay, so if the AI we have now is narrow, what does a general intelligence actually look like? Let's dig in and figure out what researchers are really shooting for when they talk about AGI.
So, at its heart, AGI is pretty simple to define. It's an AI that could match or, even blow past human abilities in pretty much any mental task you can imagine. This isn't about creating a better tool. It's about creating a peer. Just try to picture an AI that could be a brilliant physicist, a world-changing artist, and a wise therapist, all at the same time. But here's the thing, it's not just about ticking off a list of skills like reasoning or planning. The real secret sauce, the magic, is how it puts them all together. It's the ability to have common sense, the basic knowledge that you can't push a rope, and then weave that together with super complex logic to tackle a problem it has never, ever seen before. And okay, if you think AI is a mind bender, hang on, because the next logical step is something else entirely, artificial superintelligence, or ASI. We're talking about an intellect so far beyond ours that we would be like ants trying to understand general relativity. An ASI could solve problems in minutes that humanity's greatest minds have been stuck on for centuries. Right, so these are some huge concepts. But it brings up a really practical question. If we're actually trying to build this thing, how would we even know if we've done it? What's the final exam for an artificial mind? The classic answer comes from way back in 1950, from the legend himself, Alan Turing. He called it the imitation game. Basically, can a machine have a text conversation with you that's so convincing you can't tell if you're talking to a computer or another person? It was never meant to be a test for consciousness, but it was the first real attempt to draw a finish line. And this is where things get really wild. You might think we're ages away from passing a test like that, right? Well, a study in 2024 found that GPT-4 actually fooled the judges 54% of the time. Now, that's still a bit less than actual humans, but wow, that gap is closing so much faster than anyone thought. The line is just getting blurrier and blurrier. But look, fooling someone in a chat is one thing. A lot of experts argue that real general intelligence has to deal with the messy, unpredictable real world. That's where these other, more practical tests come in. Could an AI actually enroll in college and get a degree? Or, and I love this one, the coffee test. Can you drop an AI robot into a totally random kitchen and have it figure out how to make a cup of coffee? That one little task needs vision, planning, problem solving. It's a huge mountain we still have to climb.
So this all leads to the one question that is pretty much everyone in tech, from researchers to billionaires, locked in this massive debate. If AGI is really coming, when?
For decades, AGI was kind of a running joke in the field. It was always 20 years away. The pioneers back in the 60s were sure they'd crack it by the 80s. But look at what's happened just recently. The predictions from the very people building the stuff are suddenly shrinking, from decades down to just a handful of years. This quote from Geoffrey Hinton, one of the literal godfathers of AI, is what really sent shockwaves through the industry. This isn't some random person making a guess. This is one of the chief architects of modern AI basically saying, whoa, the game has completely changed, and the future is coming way faster than even I thought. But, and this is a big but, it's not a consensus, not even close. On the other side, you have thinkers like the late Paul Allen, who argue that you can't just scale your way to AGI. They believe our current methods are missing some fundamental, unpredictable breakthrough about how intelligence actually works, and that we might not even see AGI in this century. So, with the timeline being so debatable, but the possibility feeling closer than ever, we have to face the ultimate question. If we actually pull this off, if we build AI, have we created our savior or our destroyer?
I mean, the optimistic side is basically a utopia. Imagine an intelligence that could analyze every scrap of biological data in the world to cure things like cancer and Alzheimer's. An AI that could design genius solutions for climate change or give every single kid on Earth a perfect, personalized tutor. It's a future where humanity's oldest, hardest problems might actually get solved.
But every utopia casts a shadow, right? And the potential downside of AGI is just as extreme. The fears start with things like massive unemployment. Then they grow into the possibility of a permanent, inescapable surveillance state. And they end with the ultimate existential terror. What if we can't control it? What if we build something so much smarter than us that it poses a direct threat to our own survival?
And please, don't just dismiss this as some sci-fi movie plot. This is a direct quote from a statement signed by the CEOs of OpenAI and Google DeepMind, plus hundreds of top AI scientists. The very people building this technology are on the record saying its risk is on the same level as nuclear war. Just let that sink in for a moment.
You know, there's a good reason AGI is often called humanity's last invention, because once it exists, it could just invent everything else for us. So it leaves us with what might be the single most important question of our time. If we finally manage to build it, what is the very first thing we should ask it to do?